You're listening to the Remix Movement Podcast.
Hello and hi, everybody. I am back again. My name is Stephanie. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of the Remix Movement. This is episode 149, and I am actually really excited to talk about what we're going to talk about. All right. And the reason why is because it's going to be something that's a little bit more relating to me and what I am going through. And I feel like sometimes when you talk about things that are relatable, that are easy for people to relate to, easy for people to understand, and it's not so much like a Bible story that you're tearing down apart or a psalm that you're looking into. It's just so much easier to understand everything and like so much easier to apply. And it also is a really easy way for you to capture the revelations that God will give you through my story. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So you're going to hear certain things that maybe you thought, well, I already knew that, but I'm hoping that as you're listening to this episode, that as I'm talking about it, that God is going to be able to reveal new things to you that you thought you already knew, but show it to you in a different light. So that's my prayer. So let's go ahead and get it. All right. The title of this episode podcast is The Spirit of Expectancy. And no, I am not pregnant. I am praying. I am trying. I'm feeling so much better than I did last time. But no, I'm in a spirit of expectancy. All right. But I want to talk about something that happened when me and Lewis last week went to my cousin's second baby shower. I had absolutely no idea that in the middle of her opening up her baby gifts from the shower at my grandmother's house with all of our family members and our friends there, that she was going to ask me and Lewis to be her second baby's godparents. So me and Lewis are so excited. We've never been godparents before, but I have such a great relationship with my cousin. And we've just been so close, even from when we were younger. We're only like 3-year difference. But we have a lot of similarities. And, I'm always there for her. And I remember when her first daughter was born, like we were there when she was born. And we're still really close. And we thought that she wasn't going to have another child because she said she didn't want one. And then God did this. And it was out of the expectancy that me and Lewis ever imagined. Like, even when you see the video, I'm like, what? Like, who? But I'm so excited, though, because even though I wasn't expecting to be a godmother, now, even before that, I still had a spirit of expectancy. Because what happens is when somebody around you that you love and care about is about to have a baby, because they're waiting and expecting 9 months from here at the start that they're going to have a baby, they make lifestyle changes that affect not only them, but it affects the people around them, right? So for the mom, she's expecting her belly to get big, for the baby to grow. She's expecting all of the beautiful things that this child's going to have. So she changes her eating habits. She changes the way she talks. She changes the way she shops, because now maybe she's shopping more for her child, right? Now, for the husband or the father of the child, okay, he's also in a state of expectancy, but his expectancy is kind of the same spirit, right? Because he's thinking, I'm going to be a dad again. I need to make sure I have my stuff in order. I need to make sure I can afford this child. I have to make all the right decisions. Sometimes the men's eating habits change too with the moms, but there's an expectancy in their spirit, right? And with the whole family, while you're there, right, especially for me and Lewis, we're there at the baby shower. We're having a good time. We're helping out. We're setting up. We're preparing. And as we're doing this, there's still this spirit of expectancy, right? Everybody's so excited and emotional, and we're just expecting. And the baby's due in December, and we're like counting the days to that moment. But in this state of expectancy, we're hoping that something amazing is going to happen, that this child is going to be changing the world, changing our lives. And that's basically what the spirit of expectancy is. It's the state of thinking and hoping. It's basically knowing that I'm expecting something great to happen, right? And I'm expecting miracles to happen. And in our faith, we have to make sure that we have also a spirit of expectancy, all right? So it's a really another like funny thing, right? Like literally Halloween just ended. Thanksgiving is around the corner. But for some reason, right when November 1st started, I started playing Christmas music. Is it too early to be playing Christmas music? I have no idea if it is or it isn't. But I have this spirit of expectancy for Christmas. Not for gifts, not for presents, not for money. But like there's something about the spirit of Christmas, the meaning of Christmas, the fact that we're able to give, the fact that we're able to share of the miracle of baby Jesus being born. Like I have this crazy, phenomenal spirit of expectancy. And another thing is like, I know we're supposed to be going to a wedding this weekend. Another family member is getting married and we're so excited. We've been expecting this wedding for some time now. And I'm read that it's going to be cold in Orlando. I read that it's going to be like in the 50s or the 60s. So I'm like, you know what? If it's cold in Orlando, I'm going to expect that it's going to get cold here where we live in South Florida. There's something in my spirit where these past 3 days, I have been waking up early like I usually do to get ready for work. And when I take my dog out, even before the sun gets up, I put on my long pants. They're like flannel pajamas. And I put on a jacket, like a full jacket. I'm not talking about like a sweater, like a jacket, like if it was cold, because I'm expecting that when I wake up, the weather's going to change. Because so many times before, the weather changes and I have no idea why. And I go out in like shorts and a tank top and I have to go back in and I have to change my outfit. But for some reason this year, I'm expecting the weather to change. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened yet, but that's not going to disappoint me at all. Like, I'm going to continue to put on my jacket even though I go outside and it's humid because I'm expecting it to get cold, okay? When you're expecting, you're usually elated. You're usually excited. You're usually, like, doing something to prepare yourself for what you're hoping for, right? But I do want to, like, let you guys know that your faith has a lot to do with your spirit of expectancy. Because the Bible says in Hebrews 11:1 that faith is a substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen, right? So I have faith that it's going to be cold. So what do? I prepare myself by putting on a jacket. Even though I haven't seen that it's cold outside, even though I didn't check the weather app to see if it was cold outside, like in my spirit, I'm expecting it to be cold. I have faith that I am ready to see it, right? The same thing goes for like me and Lewis and our journey to having a child. Like I'm expecting any day now that I am going to get pregnant, that I'm going to have a positive on that pregnancy stick. And I used to be disappointed when I used to see the negative so many times. But the thing is that like I'm in a state right now where I have a spirit of expectancy, right? Like if you have faith in God and you expect something, it doesn't matter what the enemy says. It doesn't matter what the people around you may doubt. It doesn't matter what feelings people may try to put into your head. Like if you have faith, like you have a spirit of expectancy until you see that miracle, until you get that answer. And I'm at that point right now where like I'm in a spirit of expectancy. And I had a conversation with my mother-in-law recently where she was like, you know what? Like I wake up with joy. I wake up happy. And people ask her like, why are you happy? And she's also in a spirit of expectancy. And she's like, I'm expecting that, you know, I'm going to have grandkids. And that spirit of expectancy has a lot to do with her faith because she's known us and she's seen the journey and she knows like literally it's been such a long journey, but I don't care how long it takes because I'm expecting. Like there's something in my spirit. There's a faith that I have in Christ and I'm preparing myself. So what do? I make sure I'm continuing to work out. I make sure that I continue to eat the right stuff whenever I can. I make sure that I change the way I speak. I buy little things here and there for the baby, and I bring those knickknacks into my house. I pray for them. I lay them there, and I'm expecting my baby girl or my baby boy to go ahead and play with those little things that I buy, whether it's a stuffed animal or whether it's something else. That's a spirit of expectancy, right? Let me tell you what's not a spirit of expectancy, okay? If you are seeing outside that it is dark and cloudy and you bring an umbrella, that is not a spirit of expectancy. That is not really faith. You know why? Because you already saw the substance that might produce rain. You already saw the atmosphere that there's a high probability it's going to rain. Those dark clouds are basically letting you know, like, hey, go ahead and bring your poncho or bring your umbrella. That's not really faith. I mean, I'm talking about if you have faith that you're going to get the job that you really want, right? And you have a spirit of expectancy in your faith. Are you taking 5 copies of your resume with you to the interview? Are you wearing your absolute best regardless of what the job is? And are you really expecting to get that job? Because the thing is that if you don't have a spirit of expectancy, chances are you're not going to go into that interview with your resume in hand, with your questions ready to ask. You're not going to go in looking your finest because you already put yourself in a situation where you're like, well, I might get it and I might not get it. You already put a seed of doubt, you know? But if you have a spirit of expectancy and if you have faith and you say, you know what? I've been praying for a job and I believe with my heart I'm going to get this job. So I'm going to prepare myself with the expectancy that I have, and I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put my best suit on regardless of what it is, whether it's a waitress job or a restaurant job or an office job. Like, you are dressed to the nines to make an impression, and you are taking copies of your resume. I mean, I can't tell you guys how many times I've heard people say that they went in for a job interview. They did all these things because they were expecting to get the job. And even though they didn't get the job, on their way out, they got into contact with somebody else who connected them to the job that they were going to have. Like, that has to be God, because that person had expectancy and that person had faith and that person was determined. And those are the things that you really need in life if you want to be able to see the hand of God work in your life. Like, if you're going to have faith, you have to be willing and able to show off your spirit of expectancy. And I hope that my examples are easy for you to understand and to catch, because like I said, it's easy to understand how a woman is expecting because you can physically see it. But in the spirit, right, in your faith and in your walk with God, it might not be something people see, but it might be something that people feel. And that goes into what faith is, right? Because faith, it says, it's the evidence of things not seen. So even though people have not spoken to you yet, even though people only have seen what's on your paper for your resume, you can be able to show them in the way you present yourself, in the way that you carry yourself, in the way that you ask questions on your interview, that they're going to see something that is like, oh, you know what? That person is professional. That person is memorable. That person has something I want in my company. And because you show them like what your faith is, things that they can't see, but they were able to get a taste of because of your expectancy, God is going to go ahead and do it. The same goes for, any other situation that you may want, right? Whatever it is that you're looking for, whether it be a job or a school you really want to get into. I mean, I remember when I was getting ready to go to college, my college application was everywhere. I was like, I am expecting to get into a college. I don't want to be one of those people who doesn't go to college, because I was always taught through my family it's always great to go to college. And even though I may not had the money to be able to go to whichever college I wanted to go to, I expected to graduate from a college. I submitted my application. I paid those fees, which are not cheap, all right? And I was determined, and I had faith, and I prayed for it. And God was able to see that, and it was through him that I was able to go ahead and do my first 2 years at a community college and my last 2 years at a university, state university. And like, honestly, all of that was because God was able to see my faith and my spirit of expectancy. So that's basically what I want to talk about today. That's basically it. Like, I really hope that you guys know how much your faith has a lot to do with your spirit of expectancy. So, in the season that we're in this season that we're going into for Thanksgiving, like, what are you expecting God to do before you go to the dinner table with your family and friends on Thanksgiving? What are you doing to show your faith through your expectancy? Same thing goes with Christmas, right? Some people are only able to see their family and friends once a year around the Christmas season. What are you expecting God to do in your family through you because you were able to show expectancy? All right. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week. I will talk to you guys on Friday for our Friday Prayer Wave episode. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Remix Movement for more updates. Be sure to check out our videos on YouTube and subscribe. Feel free to send us a DM with your feedback, questions, and any topics that you would like to hear in any of our future episodes. Thank you, and God bless.